Uh, Robert Crimmins named his deck Bantron.
Nice.
We are hopping into the game.
We also have a prediction going right now, by the way. So if you are interested in gambling away some channel points, you check out the prediction.
Nah, you only gamble to win. We got Yawgmoth against Blue Black Food. We start with an Urza Saga. Pass back over after we played a Birds of Paradise.
Or James went first and played birds.
Yeah, after that. I was saying.
Gotcha.
Saga after.
My bad, yeah.
So, missed land drop from James, but we still have 3 mana. Be curious to see if Gabriel knows. Well, he does notice, and he's going to start killing them off, bolting the birds. I think that counts as a bird, even though there is a bird in play. James hits a land drop. Good sight to see for him, as he was missing one. Yawgmoth, 2 more mana. Playing a Geist, passing. We're gonna float a mana. We're gonna see this probably go get an Underworld Cookbook. He does have an Asmo in hand. This is going to be one of the hard parts for James. It's like, what's Asmo good at answering? Creature decks. What's James playing? A creature deck. The only problem for Gabriel is that Asmo cannot remove the card Yawgmoth. I believe, unless I'm mistaken, Asmo is a human.
Yep, it's got protection from humans. And the blue-black food deck really relies on Asmo to be its removal suite, basically.
I believe he has a Shrapnel Blast in hand, though.
Oh, is he playing a red version? I really thought, because he's playing Academy Manufacturer, so it must not be blue-black. Must be red-black.
I mean, you have a deck list, man.
Well, I got off of it. I'll go back and look 1 second.
The big turn from Gabriel there is he was able to get a cookbook, get one in play. He got to discard an Asmo, but had another one to play after. Didn't have to make a super awkward discard to get an Asmo in play, because he just had a backup one.
Yeah, this is definitely red-black, but it's just also running Academy Manufacturer, so that's my bad.
Wow. So we see him discard a Shrapnel Blast. He uses both foods and Asmo to windmill kick the bird into the bin. Oh, Kyle, let's catch you up. Jim's on Yawgmoth. We got Gabriel on red-black food because Taryn lied to me and thought it was blue-black food.
I really did.
James had missed a land drop. We're seeing him potentially be missing one here. Don't imagine he's going to sort of play the land.
And a bird just got eaten by foods.
Yeah, so the turns played out, and James played a bird, passed, played another creature, but missed a land. And then Gabriel's turns was like, Urza Saga eventually popped. He went and got a cookbook, played it, discarded a card, and now he's just...
That's Academy Manufacturer right there.
Flying right now. The only thing he's missing is the Daredevil at this point.
Right.
To have an infinite discard source, basically. But he is going to be able to, with his manufacturer, make every type that he wants. So, at least we know which one's the treasure.
Yeah, Academy Manufacturer, if you would create a clue, food, or treasure token, instead create one of each, And the interesting interaction with Academy Manufacturer, if you get 2 of them out, you go from 1 of each.
They just start doubling.
And you go to 9.
It gets exponential. Yeah.
Right. And then if you have 3, you go to 81 tokens, which is crazy.
Yep. It's a 3rd land drop. Now every land's a swamp. Play a grist. Probably see. It looked like he took a damage off his land. I'm not necessarily sure that he had to. He could have tapped it for a black for the Urborg and used the green from his Blooming Marsh.
Oh yeah, I think I said manufacturer. It's manufactor.
Manufacturer, yeah. I'm sorry.
No, just manufactor.
Okay. So Grist was sacking a creature to destroy target creature, which was going to remove Asmo. So in response, Gabe, that's another manufacturer hitting the battlefield, and here come the tokens. So, but Asmo is gone.
Well, we're gonna get to draw cards. If it's a dot of a card, we would be able to discard it, but I want to say that it is the 3rd copy of the big boy. So I don't think we're gonna see it get discarded.
If Gabriel draws a Oval Chase at any point here too.
Yeah, if you draw an Oval Chase, this game's so far out of hand.
Well,
Especially if this card in hand is another manufacturer. That's what it looked like.
another manufacturer hitting the battlefield, whatever is drawn would be 27 treasures.
Well, not even necessarily that. 27. You're looking to draw 10 plus cards.
A 3rd manufacturer is 9 of each.
Or 9 of each.
Are you sure?
Yes. 3rd manufacturer is 9 of each. 4th manufacturer is 27 of each.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I mean, either way, it's a lot.
So 27 total tokens for 3 manufacturers.
Well, it was.
Is.
Here we go.
And Gabe's explaining the replacement effect right now, how it works.
Let me,
So we're gonna get a class lesson here.
We're going to go ahead and start writing these down. I recommend that you actually write them down if you're starting to make this many tokens. Because that's just hard to represent on the board. It's too many dice. In a competitive event, you don't want to mess it up.
So there's a judge call. They're asking the judge to clarify what is going on here. Doesn't surprise me. Given the replacement effect and what's going on, we were even debating in here in the booth what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure.
Well, you gotta not think of 3 tokens. You gotta think of 1 individual. So you just multiply by that. So you're like
gets replaced, right?
Yeah. So it makes 1 treasure, and then it makes 1 sees it, so it makes the 3 treasures, and then you times that by 3 again, so it does go to 9.
Each one of. We'll see. I think it's 27 each at the 3rd one.
It's 9.
It's 9 of each.
Yeah.
Oh, why is he?
So 1 manufacturer, when you make one of those tokens, it makes 3. If you have a second one, it sees all 3 enter, and it makes 9. So 3 of each would be 9. And then if you have a 3rd one, it sees all 9 of those enter, and it replaces each of those, with 3 different types, which 9 times 3 is 27. So you get 27 total, so 9 of each.
Yep. So as you can see, he's writing it down because he's sacking a lot of clues. So he's writing off his treasures so that he's using to draw cards with his clues.
Right.
And he goes, I'm going to play this one. And that one's going to be it.
Yeah, so one one thing here, you cannot let those Academy manufacturers stay around. That's, but the
So Gabe's on a mod of 5.
Yeah. Well, 5 against hand 7. When you mull and you're on the draw, you feel like slightly better about it because you have more cards in hand. But doing a little bit of a shortcut here. We're gonna fetch up a land, play our thing, ping them, get a basic mountain.
Well, there an Epicure is kind of a interesting include in this deck. But it's just a 1-mana 1/1 that makes an artifact when it enters and pings. So
Oh wow. We're getting cards exiled.
this is Necromentia, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Choose a card name other than a basic land card name. Search your target opponent's library, graveyard, and hand for a number of cards with that name and exile them. That player shuffles their library and creates a 2/2 black zombie creature token for each card exiled from their hand this way. So I believe that's what the Tyler 1 token is, because keeps its Tyler 1 token is a 2/2.
No, it's
Or it's a
a
blood token.
It's a
It is
blood, yeah.
blood token.
Young Dingo rating of the party of 53. Thank you so much. Shout out to Young Dingo. Young Dingo does modern content every single day at around 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, I think. So check out Young Dingo.
Speed runs them too.
Speed running those modern leagues.
James fetching here. Get another basic forest. I guess Necromancer is a good way to deal with any threat that you might find troublesome.
Yeah, I mean, Gabe's got to figure out how to win without manufacturers. I'm sure he can, but I'm sure it's difficult.
Might be just sticking around, find out a little bit more information, maybe some more sideboard cards.
Yeah, that too.
Because the other thing is the other downside for Gabriel, that Necromancer showed that Gabriel brought in a Magus of the Moon. So James took that information and fetched up another basic forest.
Right.
However, this Magus can shut and potentially down a little bit. Goes ahead and slams it. Does not swing.
The food deck can win through a variety of ways, but they have gear per Aether Grid. Is notably one of the ways that they win. So.
I would need you to pull that one up.
Gear per Aether Grid?
Yeah.
It's a classic, man.
I'm a toddler when it comes to Magic, man. I don't know cards. Tap 2 untapped artifacts control deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So this was also the card we saw in game 1 when you played it and it just got picked up. Nice. That's pretty cool. The only downside, of course, is we do not have that artifact token producer that just exponentially goes crazy.
No Academy manufacturers makes Aether Grid a lot worse. James has got he's pretty close. How many is 2 cards in hand?
It looks like 2 cards in hand. Sacks blood token, discards a book. Plays a Grim Lavamancer?
Huh.
I mean, I guess that's a win condition in and of itself. Play a cookbook that we have in hand. Grim Lavamancer, 1 mana human wizard. Red. Tap it. exile 2 cards from your graveyard, deals 2 damage to any target.
That is interesting.
So,
I mean, this it's pretty nice against all these little mana dorks and things like that,
yeah.
right?
Even like one of those worst case scenarios, you get to block like a Ragman, then tap it and shoot down a Dragon Rage Chandler or something like that. And those kind of matchups, I can see this card being crazy. Also, if you're just like in matchups like this where you aren't going to be able to get a ton of artifacts, it can kind of just help you get there.
Games just passing. Kyle's joining us again. Gabriel just got his Academy Manufacturers Necromentia.
Oh,
James,
that's a play.
We were thinking of what answers, and we're like, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
I would call that one better than bad for sure. Okie dokie.
Yeah.
She has the Aether Grid in hand. Oh, look at you, Kyle, in the camera, right behind him.
Good news is the microphone's blocking most of my face.
Yeah. He's blocking me, so I'm chilling.
So we have.
Ah.
I see the Magus out there. Grim Lavamancer.
Yeah, Grim
Yeah.
Lavamancer.
A little bit of a tough turn. It's grid.
Get the grid on
no
board.
Cards in hand.
What grid?
Oh, we already did.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good.
For
Cord?
Kyle's experience. And if you were just joining us, Aether Grid is tap 2 untapped artifacts you control, deals 1 damage to target creature or player. We saw that card come down in game 1, and then James just picked him up, so it was a little bit of a quick play. But it made sense because of how many tokens we had. It was just like, it's on tap. Call it a day. Yawgmoth coming in play.
Protection from humans is a important line for Yawgmoth. Cannot be hit by Asmo.
Even in a weird regard that Asmo wasn't a human, the way Asmo is worded.
It deals damage to itself, so it itself is a human though.
Yeah, Yawgmoth's not out here trying to hurt himself.
Right.
Can't do that. Well, and the main reason for it was like he can't put the counters on himself. And that would be why.
That's a blood artist. James is. Well, he needs.
He needs some undying creatures.
Yeah, he needs the undying creatures now, which Gabriel dealt with. Geist. Strangleroot Geist while it had a counter on it.
You can also get rid of some of Gabriel's threats / like tax effect kind of cards in terms of like not necessarily tax, but like Magus of the Moon, making James' mana sometimes awkward. You can kind of get rid of that. But I'm not sure he's in a rush to, because that will turn on Gabriel's Den and other like man lands that he has. And he's probably just okay with his Birds of Paradise and 2 basic forests, just doing what he has to do. James passing. One of the hard things in these food decks, if you don't have the Daredevil, it's a little hard to be in top deck mode with a cookbook, because like if you're only drawing 1 card a turn, it's pretty tough to ever discard a card to get an Asmo in play.
Yeah, and that's Shrapnel Blast sacking a cookbook to take care of Yawgmoth.
We thought the game was going to start favoring James there. Has win condition. Alright, Taryn, I need a card.
Oh, what is that card? I can't remember it.
It's not Crime and Punishment, right? That's not it.
That might be it.
It just took care of 2 creatures.
It is Crime Punishment?
Oh, I'm nuts. Let me go.
Yeah, it's normally cast on the punishment side.
Oh, yeah. That's it. Bring my back here.
Yeah, destroy each creature and enchantment with converted mana cost X.
Well, you forgot artifact.
Sorry. So
Yeah, it's destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with converted mana cost X. So you were almost there.
yeah,
You forgot another keyword.
it kind of matters because they got rid of the Aether Grid.
Yeah.
Gabriel top decks another Magus.
Uses Grist ability to sack a creature and destroy another target creature. We'll get to see next turn potentially if James gets to do the Grist combo. Where you uptick and you hit another Grist, so you get to do it again.
A land here was important for Gabe. Activate Den, make a 1/1, get rid of Grist. So a land wasn't actually the worst top deck right there for Gabe.
I'd argue it's probably one of the better top decks you could have had.
Right.
Gabe, like we said before, there's going to be a lot harder of a way to win the game without the manufacturers in play, but Gabe's trying to pull that off. Every time you would think that James is stabilized, Gabe has found a way to answer in terms of a Shrapnel Blast on a Yawgmoth.
Oh, are the life points inverted? Oh, I will go check on that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Sometimes it'll be a little bit weird. We did a lot of changes on the back end, so the board
We're
probably the opposite way that it was before.
trying to improve. We got a nice iPad basically out there. The judge, our feature match judge, can keep the life points out there, so we're not keeping them back here.
I just realized the board's also backwards from when you're looking in here. So it's convenient if you're in the booth and you're looking out there, it all makes sense, but it's backwards
If
when
you're out there.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We got it fixed.
Good catch.
A lot happening. Another Yogg just hit the battlefield. Ignoble.
Based on the information I said before, James has got a lot more time than I thought he did at first.
Right.
I was like, this I thought it was getting crushed somehow. I'm not quite sure how. But so we finally found a Daredevil, but now we have no cookbook. A Galvanic Blast.
With no artifact to sack. So
Gonna do the manufacturer, float a mana, I think, or is it? It might be attacking. I thought maybe he was going to do something where he used that as an artifact.
I was wondering if he would.
Okay.
So James just draws and passes, and a cookbook off the top for Gabe. That's going to do a Daredevil, discard, trigger, Daredevil's going to trigger and go back to hand. Now Shrapnel Blast is live. So Cookbook was one heck of a top deck.
Yeah. So I just double checked. It does become an artifact because we said that. I was like, I don't even know if it actually becomes. I'm pretty sure it does, but yeah, manufacturer becomes a 2/2 assembly worker artifact creature. It's still land.
So Shrapnel Blast, targeting
Blast.
or Galvanic Blast, excuse me. Oh, so he needed Metalcraft. That's why. And
This is huge. Force of Vigor.
yeah,
Up, makes Metalcraft not.
yeah. So James with a huge play, as Taryn was saying, Force of Vigor taking care of the Mishra's Factory and the Cookbook, turning off Metalcraft. Yawgmoth with only 2 damage on it. Then
Move 1 creature.
and that's a young wolf coming down. So Blood Artist, Young Wolf, and Yawgmoth need one more. One more Undying.
Yeah, one more Undying.
Then you can just cycle them back and forth.
Already not in a great spot here. James can start sacking Ignoble, at least, if he wanted to.
Good game here. I cannot tell what is in Gabe's hand.
One of the cards is Daredevil, right?
Oh, it should be Daredevil.
So it's Daredevil.
I think just debating whether you're supposed to play it here or not, or hold on to it.
Buying the companion. See what James.
Combat. Swing for 4. Blocks. Pass it up. So we have a Grid, Daredevil, and a Giganta in hand. And a Saga that can make tokens. We're gonna Forest, hit Saga, and
Another 4.
food token. So that's going to gain us 3 life for Gabriel. Go up to 9.
And he's making
While
that.
also making a construct.
Yeah.
Yep. Saga not being able to go off next turn and get a cookbook is
Well,
big.
Aaron can check to be sure, but I would believe that if you have cookbook, it's good. I would be curious to see if you don't grab Pithing Needle to name Yogg, so it can not be activated anymore.
That would probably be the move at this point.
But that's gonna do it. You're gonna be able to hit him for 4 there, and then sack the board and get him with the rest of the damage.
grindy.
Back to our feature match.
Yeah, we'll just stay here because not really going to get to see the other game.
I believe we got a judge call, potentially. I think he accidentally shuffled Giganta in. Potentially. I thought I saw him raise his hand after he set his hand down. Maybe? Yeah. Update. We got a Giganta in the board. He's in there causing a ruckus.
Yeah, so what normally happens is that's a totally legal move. You can side in your Giganta and have a 61 card main deck, so you just have to play with it.
So this is a weird thing. It's technically a legal move if you don't call a judge, but I believe based on what happened to Lucas, if you call a judge for your sideboard card because you want it out, you'll actually end up getting a warning. Because Lucas in the team event actually ends up getting a game loss at some point because he accidentally left the cards that he learned with the learn ability. He left those in the deck, which you can do that.
Right.
You don't need them in the side, but he brought it up and called a judge, and I believe he was at some point awarded a game loss, but I know he definitely got a warning for it.
After a couple warnings, you eventually get a game loss for improper deck.
So I'm not sure if that'll happen here. We'll be able to tell an event link if it does happen.
I wonder if that means for Gabriel that he drew it, if that's like how he realized, but not sure.
I believe he probably went to, say, Gigantus My Companion. You have to announce that every time and goes, huh, it's not there. My 5/5's out here dancing in the woods somewhere. Shadow Spear. Blast on the bird. Hitting for another one. Came in. Pinged James for a damage. So it's 18 to 20. I believe 17 to 20. Play wall.
Wall of Roots.
Wall of Roots. Not the same art, but does same card.
Manufacturer down.
Put a negative counter on it. Add mana only. Activate once. Card gets so good with cards like Quarter Calling because you can add a mana and also tap it.
Right.
So
Plays very nicely with Convoke.
he coming out of the gate incredibly hot.
Yeah,
Discarding gonna make his with the blood token, so he's not gonna make any artifacts yet. He has another manufacturer in hand. He's gonna play it. Passes. Don't want to run into. Doesn't want to run into anything. Because again, we have a theoretical 5 for Cord. In terms of total mana, it's only for 2.
He just played the
Wall of Summoning Sickness. No, it doesn't. Did he play it?
You can tap the wall for Convoke, but he only had he was tapped out.
Oh
He
yeah,
had
well,
one- he just played the wall. He had one land untapped, but
Okay. James is counting mana.
have a grist.
What to do here? Plussing? Or, yep. So whatever creature is getting is going to bite the bullet to the grist activation and get rid of one of the manufactor, excuse me.
I keep doing it too. It's getting a Dryad Arbor.
Yeah, 'cause I believe you had to just
Cord for zero.
basically cord for nothing, and that's where you see Dryad be such a good card. But we just play another one. It's fine.
Yeah, Gabe just says, "Hey, I have more of those." Manufacturer to the dome and Epicure to the grist.
Game getting a little out of hand, especially when we're sacking the land to draw a card. Means we either have too many lands in hand or just not enough spells that are worth playing out instead of trying to dig deeper. 4 to 5 mana available based on putting a negative counter on this wall and then tapping it if you're trying to cast another chord. It was just on the beatdown plan. Bird, ignoble.
Is there another chord in hand for James?
I think there is.
Yeah, so he essentially those are just potential convoke creatures.
And then sack fodder to Yawgmoth. Chord is 4.
Up to 7, so Yawgmoth, right? 3 plus 4.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what you said. Chord is 4.
Yeah.
You had me confused. I wasn't sure which 4 you were meaning.
X equals 4.
Chord of Calling. Very good card.
Well, we got the cookbook and the Daredevil, so James wants to
Oh,
do
wow.
something.
Oh.
I think all James can really do here, though, is just kill one manufacturer.
Yeah, which I mean,
That's still a big deal, but
I would say that's a lot. Plus, you've already dealt with one earlier, so it's going to be a lot less. If you've already dedicated to the game plan of removing one, you're going to have to just remove it. I don't think you... Okay.
is Gabriel running Unearth? I don't know. You can look at his list.
Dan, may need you pull up a card.
So what did Gabe do here?
I believe so. Mishra's Factory has tap. Give a creature +1/+1 until end of turn.
Oh.
So he basically used Mishra's Factory to save this to make all the treasures, and it'll die at the end of the turn.
Right.
But it's going to get all of its value in.
Target assembly worker creature.
Yeah. Move that assembly worker creatures.
It's an
Assembly worker.
assembly dash worker creature type. Super relevant. Gabe's actually on assembly dash worker tribal.
Yeah. Sorry. Got the names mixed up again.
That's crazy.
Damien walked by, gave the thumbs up, so I believe that means 4-color elementals took it down against Hammer Time at one of our other feature matches.
That's one of those like niche plays that you know by playing the deck a bunch that comes up
Right.
and just makes a huge difference in the game.
That Academy manufacturer with the 3 counters is not going to be able to attack for any damage here, so.
So 2 of Gabe's Academy manufacturers have been dealt with. See what James can do to stabilize.
Ralph's Messenger.
Well,
That's a thing.
that's a start.
Yep. Is there another chord in hand?
Believe so. Pass. It's another chord in hand. We can't find another undying creature for 1 mana. Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, James just needs to live another turn and untap here and get a Blood Artist or something out there, and still needs one more Undying creature as well. Game far from over.
Game far from over, but super close to over.
It is.
It's you're at that like really fine line that one card for either player can just
animating some lands and
this attack's super relevant because it doesn't allow for the Yogg to dig quite as deep as it could before to find a Blood Artisan. Take 3 down to 4 and Shrapnel Blast
oh,
to
Shrapnel.
the dome.
That's reach.
Is the those cast a spell, sacrifice an artifact, deal 5 to any target, which target was dome.
Yep. And right before time. So that's going to do it for the feature match area, all finished up.